bus driver is the leader in that bus. The person in the fashion designing shop, the leader of that shop is the leader. And for citizens, we have what we call the citizen codes. That is the code of conduct for citizens, which are clearly defined. And there are 7 principles to that. So the leader offers 7, and the citizens also return 7. So we call it 7 for 7. And next week, as part of the independence celebration in Nigeria, the president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, will be unveiling the National Value Charter, where every Nigerian will understand what it means to be in Nigeria. We can put ourselves accountable, as citizens. In today's world, it is very important to recognize the importance of aligning behavior into whatever we do, so that we can have the kind of country we all can be proud of. Of the 7 for 7, we also have 7 institutions to nurture every Nigerian to imbibe this attributes. For want of time, I will list just 3. 1 is you are a good Christian, but imagine Christianity without the Bible, or Islam without the Quran. Where are you going to get the guidance? So the National Value Charter seeks to fill that vacuum for Nigerians. But you can imagine Christianity with the Bible and Islam with the Quran, but without the churches and the mosque. Where is the institution to nurture adherence? So that's why we also identify 7 institutions where Nigerians will be nurtured on the values that have just been created and unveiled next week by the president. So 3 of these 7 institutions quickly. 1 is what we call the citizenship study. This involves the history, heritage, and civic orientation right from primary school to the university. It is now a compulsory subject in Nigeria, starting from this next year. So all our children must learn what it means to be in Nigeria as compulsory subject. That was just announced a month ago, and the curriculum developed and it's part of our system now. You must learn that subject all across, so that you grow up knowing the requirements as a citizen of the country. So when you get to the university, you are doing what we call general studies in the university, which is compulsory. That curriculum is part of it. So when you leave the university and you are given a certificate which says you have been found worthy in learning and character. That is the character aspect of that. The second one, in the last 3 decades, we have managed to raise foreigners as children in Nigeria. The children in Nigeria, and I'm sure many of other African countries, this is applicable. From age 2 to 16 in Nigeria, our children spend 6 to 7 hours daily watching cartoons. The cartoons are 99.9% foreign content. Teaching our children foreign values. And we have raised Gen Z with those values. And so they are victims. We can't hold them responsible for whatever we think they do contrary to what our values as a country. So the government also has approved what we call nationalization of cartoon content. And a lot of investment is going into the animation industry. That in the next 3 years, cartoons that our children will be watching in Nigeria, 70% is our target for 3 years, will be about Nigeria and of our heroes, of our story, of our, our children. Today, the 10-year-old boy in Ibadan, who has never left Ibadan, whose parents have never left Ibadan, knows so much about New York, knows Spider-Man and Iron Man. And that is the economic aspect to that. He cries daily for them to buy costumes of Spider-Man and Iron Man and other characters in the cartoon. That money goes not to our country. So in the next 3 years, we expect our children, they will still cry, children will cry, but they should cry to buy costumes of Jaja of Okobo, of Agana of Taria, of Chimande Azikwe, of Awolowo. These are what we think should happen. And the boy in Ibadan, as I mentioned, knows nothing about the people of Abakaliki, except the stereotypes he's been fed growing up. Same applies to the boy in Enugu. He knows nothing about the people of Kano, except the stereotypes he's been fed with. So these are things that we think we have done to ourselves that we are trying to correct in Enugu.